Welcome to today's episode of Ground Zero on Herald TV. Today, in this episode, we will be talking about the Basilica of Bom Jesus and the silver casket and mausoleum of Saint Francis Xavier. We will also be getting in touch with a few devout followers who have been in Old Goa and who are really enthusiastic about the feast and the exposition, and get to understand what really is the thing about Saint Francis Xavier that pulls them or draws them towards the saint's feet.
It's interesting that Francis Xavier was a Basque missionary. Basque is in Spain, but both the mausoleum as well as the silver casket have Italian origins.
Within the Basilica of Bom Jesus, situated in Old Goa, in the middle of the chapel dedicated to Saint Francis Xavier, there stands a beautiful monument of a tomb which is a gift from Cosmas III, who was the Grand Duke of Tuscany, Italy, a perfect piece of work admired in the whole of Asia. Pope Pius XII proclaimed the grandeur of this mausoleum when declaring the Church of Bom Jesus as a minor basilica in 1946, using the very words of the Memoria sobre a Igreja do Bom Jesus, Goa. It was the regal gift not of Ferdinand II but of Cosmas III, as rightly pointed out by later historians. This duke was moved to commission this monument, a splendid tomb in fine Italian inlaid marble, when Father Francisco Sarmento, procurator of the Goa province, carried and offered to the Duke in Florence a cushion on which the head of the holy body of Saint Francis Xavier had been resting for some time. The mausoleum is the work of the famous Florentine sculptor of the time, Giovanni Battista Foggini. It took him 10 years to complete it. It was then packed in pieces in 65 boxes. The consignment of colored and smooth stone, bronze relief, and cherubims of marble. There were besides 15 other boxes containing material of holy water stoups and lavabos, all gifts of the same pious Duke of Florence to the Church of Saint Cajetan, which is situated not very far away from the Bom Jesus. All this precious cargo was accompanied by two artists, one of whom was Placido Francisco Ramponi by name, who kept a diary of his voyage and from Goa for the information of his generous patron. Ramponi reached Goa on 13th of September 1698 and stayed at the Church of Saint Cajetan, rather in the monastery of Saint Cajetan, and soon after he set up the holy water stoups and lavabos in the Church of Saint Cajetan. He began work on the mausoleum. This beautiful mausoleum consists of three parts. The lower part is a rectangular platform of jasper. In the middle of each side there is a symbolic sculpture in white marble, cherubs at the four corners, two angels holding wreaths of leaves and flowers running on the longer sides over the border. Later on, arrangements were made to offer masses on all four sides. So if you look at the mausoleum today, there are four altars on it, one on each side of it. Some writers assert that as the original mausoleum was found too big, it was adjusted in dimensions so that it actually fit well into the chapel that was created to house the sacred relics of Saint Francis Xavier. It is said that Ramponi himself had realized that the chapel of Saint Francis was too small for this mausoleum. He would have liked to move it, or rather remove it and place it into a different place that is today the sanctuary of the Basilica, if he had a little more time, because he says that he had to move back to Europe, so he did not really have much time to relocate it, and hence he thought of placing the mausoleum in the same place that it is today. Coming to the casket of Saint Francis Xavier. By the year 1637, the remains of the saint had been placed within a newly crafted silver casket. On December 2nd, 1637, the body was housed in this new silver casket. It had been commissioned by a Jesuit priest, Marcello Mastrelli, who was cured from his deathbed through the intercession of Saint Francis Xavier. This casket was created by Goan silversmiths between 1636 and 1637 and stands as one of the finest examples of integration and influence of Italian artistry in India. It represents a rare instance of the harmonious blending of Italian and Indic artistic styles, showcasing classical elements such as Corinthian columns and volutes alongside distinctive Indian filigree work. The pyramidal shape of the casket's upper section is reminiscent of certain Indian ivory coffers or temples. Some authors, including Philip Neri Xavier, who chronicled the saint's life, were misled by the presence of Corinthian columns and mistakenly attributed this casket's origins to Italy. It was not until Mr. F.X. Vaz that art historians like Professor Reynaldo dos Santos recognized the distinctly Indian characteristics of the silver casket's decoration. Nevertheless, it is not surprising that this artwork was influenced by Italian design, which had a presence in Goa since quite some time. The casket featured 32 silver plates on all four sides, each illustrating various episodes from the saint's life.
Now this Bom Jesus Basilica, the foundation was put in 1594 and somewhere in January 1606, that is 11 years later, this building was inaugurated. But at that time, it was not a basilica. It was just a church. It was of the Society of Jesus or the Jesuits. It was made into a basilica as late as 1946. But what is it that made the person to remove the lime coat that was there? And just for your information, there was a lime coat for this particular building. It was a full white building and it was built in a place which very rarely people will know, at a place called as Praça da Galest. What is this Praça da Galest? Earlier, before that place was built, the cockfights used to take place over there. And that was a very prominent place for this. So this was the place used by the Jesuits to construct that. In 1950s, let's go from outside to inside. This is a baroque or a colonial, the Portuguese colonial, wherever the Portuguese went, they used that influence. It has got that type of an architectural style. And in 1950s, there was this architect, conservator, architect, whatever you may call him, by the name Mr. Balthazar. He came over here. And what he thought was to give this entire basilica, at that time it was a basilica because in just 4 years back it had been given that status. And what he said was, let's remove the lime coat. Now that was the biggest blunder that he did. Blunder, which I will tell you. He removed the coat of that of this basilica building that to give it a rustic look. Most of or all of the altars, wooden altars that we see in Old Goa today, which are gilded by a gold film on top, they were carved by Hindu artisans from the Zo family in Ribandar. Today you don't find this family at all over there. Today most of the carpenters and electricians are all from outside Goa. We Goans have somehow forgotten our own trades.
Hi, my name is Cleto Fernandez and I'm from Panjim. I'm very excited to be volunteering for the feast this year and the exposition. This year it is the 18th exposition of Saint Francis Xavier. The relics are kept in the sacred cathedral. You can visit it anytime, okay, but mostly anyone, if you're coming, I would suggest you come there from 2 o'clock to 4, okay, so that is the time you are supposed to visit because less rush hours, you can go in slowly and walk out of the whole situation in a good manner. Okay, no rush. That is one. Second thing is I came walking today from Panjim, that is my place. So that is another reason I'm very excited because every year we do this and I'm happy that I could do it another year. Okay. And at least last year there were my friends who were there, but this year due to other reasons they couldn't come.
During the feast, the feast is not complete, people say, without eating chorispav and buying gram in the fair. Did you buy some?
I bought some already. I think I've bought it almost for the 4th or the 5th time now. My college is nearby, so I go there once in a while. Right from when it started on the 21st till now, I must have gone at least 4 to 5 times. Chorispav is a must.
It's a must.
A very happy feast of Saint Francis Xavier to all of you. Just attended Mass and I'm happy to say that it was a brilliant experience. The Mass itself, the Holy Eucharist, was so moving. The energy and it was just next level. So also the procession, the brass band, it's been so good. I'm really looking forward to actually going to Old Goa once again for the veneration of our Blessed Saint, as well as I look forward to going to the fair, getting some gram, and I think all feasts are incomplete without the festa chatsone, and also eating chorispav in the fair. But yes, super excited today, and once again a very happy feast to my fellow Goans.
मेरा नाम शेकिला बानो, पीर साहब खवास, गदग डिस्ट्रिक्ट, मुलुगुन साइड, मुलुगुन गाँव,
मंगलोर, कर्नाटक।
हाँ कर्नाटक। हमना को चर्च के लिए गए तो यीशु के हमना को ज्ञान है हमें, ये हमारा कुरान है, लेकिन मुझे यीशु के ऊपर भरोसा बहुत है। हाँ, मैं यकीन करती हूँ यीशु के, मैं प्रार्थना करती हूँ, नहीं वो जो मुझे बोल ले सकती हूँ ना, वो हो गया उसके लिए मुझे, उसके लिए उसके प्रार्थना करने को आना कर को मेरा दिल माना है, मैं आ गई उसके पास।
सो आप मिरेकल्स में मानते हो सेंट फ्रांसिस जेवियर के?
हाँ, यीशु के
सेंट फ्रांसिस जेवियर जो आप आए हैं ना अभी?
हाँ, आप भी आज ये फर्स्ट आए से यीशु के अंदर नहीं आते थे, ये लेते कि नहीं लोग हमना को कर को नहीं आए थे, आए सर का आए हमना को क्या भी नहीं बोले, आके उसके प्रेयर कर लेते, बैठे थे हमना को।
पहली बार
ये फर्स्ट टाइम। हाँ, ये
पहले 10 साल पहले हुआ
किधर भी नहीं आए, वही दिल में बोल लेते थे हमारे यीशु के लिए मुझे अच्छा हुआ, मैं यीशु के फैन हूँ, मैं कुरान कितना मानता हूँ उतना यीशु को मानता हूँ, मुझे उसके लिए अच्छा हुआ था करके ऐसा दिल में आता, यीशु कने जाना मैं मिला खत होना करने का मेरे दिल में आता, लेकिन उसके कने आई कौन भी क्या बोले नहीं, अंदर आई कौन भी कुछ भी बोले नहीं, आके उसके प्रेयर कर लेते बैठे हुए।
हाँ, ये तो हमेशा खुला रहता है, जब भी चाहिए जब आ सकती है।
हाँ, वो मुसलमान है ने क्या बोलते हैं कि हमें कुछ नहीं, हाँ, वो
कभी भी आ सकते हैं।
अच्छा वो हाई सर है तो हमें आ सकते बरस में एक बार।
ये भी चर्च और वहाँ भी ऑपोजिट एक चर्च।
अब स्पेशली इधर ही आए थे?
हाँ, स्पेशली इधर ही आए थे, चर्च को मिला खतोना करने के लिए चाहे से।
कब निकले थे आप?
हम कल रात में निकले थे।
और इधर कब पहुँचे?
7 में से निकले थे, सुबह में 5:30 बजे ये शिमला में उतरे। शिमला में से इधर चर्च हमने नहीं मिला, इधर वो उधर इधर घूमे, वो शिमला में एक तरफ उधर जाओ एक तरफ इधर जाओ बोले, एक आदमी को खुद पूछे हमें किधर गए तो बड़ा चर्च मिलता कर, वो बोले ओल्ड गोवा जाओ, वहाँ बस वही रुकता, वहाँ ओल्ड गोवा का पास चर्च बड़ा चर्च कहाँ है बोले तो कौन भी दिखा सकते जाओ बोले, पूछ लेके इधर आए। अपना एक्सपीरियंस अच्छा है, इसी के लिए हमने अच्छा लगा।
और कितना दिन ठहरोगे आप?
ये नहीं, आज रात में निकलने
वाले और वापस कब आओगे बाद?
दिसंबर का आना तो प्लानिंग रखी, दिसंबर से ये इसका ये है ना प्रेयर, उसके दिसंबर 25 दिन आना करने का दिल में सोच ले, वो उसका मर्जी बुला लेने का।
ओके।